we're going to play. It will be the board. Join the group for Avon.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Hey, thank you for joining tonight. Tonight's call, we are going to talk about fundraising. And we're going to hopefully teach you something new about fundraising and demystify it a little bit. We're going to make it very, very simple. I will tell you that the call is being recorded tonight so that those representatives who cannot attend with us this evening can listen later on. And you may decide that you want to listen later on because it's going to be jam-packed with a lot of content. And you may not get all the notes down right from the beginning. So thank you so much for joining. I do hope that you have in front of you some pen and paper and that you can take lots of notes. And I promise you that this will be a call where you will really learn how to really drive your business forward, okay? If you've not used this medium before and you're on the computer, don't hesitate to type into the chat box. This is Dee. I'm Dee, the district manager in 4686. And I have 4712 and 4693. So I have 3 districts, and some of you may be from those districts, some of you may be from somewhere else. But I'm just glad that you've taken the time to join tonight, and there are probably going to be some other people that join as we get going. So I am going to now share my screen and start the presentation and get going. All right. If you do have questions, type it into the chat box. I'll get to them later. I'm probably going to mute everyone's telephone so that I won't hear any of the background noise. So you'll be able to hear me, but I can't hear you or any of the noise that may be in your house, because I know how that is at the end of the day. You know, anything can happen. So, you know, while I'm pulling up the presentation, if you don't mind, type in the chat box your name and your location. Type in what district you're from, and maybe even type something that you want to get out of tonight's call. And by the end of the call, we'll go back and we'll review those, and we'll make sure that we have met your expectations, okay? All right, so let me pull the presentation while you guys are typing, and we will get going. Now, when we talk about fundraisers, fundraisers can and should take your business to a whole nother level. Okay, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're talking about taking your business to a whole nother level. So I'm going to dispel any myths that you have about fundraisers. And we're going to start this call off with a presentation that was done at last year's Rep Fest in Las Vegas, Nevada. So listen closely, and then after you hear this presentation, I will start to go through the slides, okay? Here we go.
excited? We have heard so much great information this afternoon. I'm excited to be here with you as well. I'm even more excited to share an amazing opportunity that you have to build your business, attract new customers, and discover potential new representatives. Sound good? Great. First, how many of you have supported a fundraiser for a school or a nonprofit organization? Show me hands. I see some out there. Now, how many of you have purchased products that you didn't need, you didn't want, and you wouldn't have purchased otherwise? I know I have. So how can organizations raise the funds that they need and provide their supporters with products that they want? Did I hear Avon fundraiser? That's right. There are great benefits for having an Avon fundraiser. You'll be supporting the good work being done in your community while increasing your earnings and connecting with new customers and new recruits.
Sorry, guys, got a little technical difficulty here.
Attract new customers and discover potential new representatives. Sound good? Great. First, how many of you have supported a fundraiser for a school or a nonprofit organization? Show me hands. I see some out there. Now, how many of you have purchased products that you didn't need, you didn't want, and you wouldn't have purchased otherwise? I know I have. So how can organizations raise the funds that they need and provide their supporters with products that they want? Did I hear Avon fundraiser? That's right. There are great benefits for having an Avon fundraiser. You'll be supporting the good work being done in your community while increasing your earnings and connecting with new customers and new recruits. Sound pretty good, right? I'd like you to meet someone who has really embraced this opportunity with great success. Please give her a warm welcome, Inner Circle and GOAT leader, Deanna Kins. Clap it up. Welcome. Now, Deanna, you've had a lot of success with fundraisers. Tell us a little bit about your experience.
Well, Tawana, I was able to open my Avon business in May of 2012. And just like all of the representatives out here, I was looking for another way to increase my sales. And so I looked at the Avon fundraising component. And you know, I found everything I needed on youravon.com, from phone scripts to emails to a step-by-step guide that got me through all of the fundraisers. It was so easy to get started. In fact, I conducted 12 fundraisers by the end of that 2012 cycle.
12 fundraisers?
12 fundraisers.
That's incredible, guys.
And you know, those fundraisers earned me the title of President's Counsel within my first 6 months of Avon.
Great.
And in addition to that, I had 2 trips right behind that. In fact, the first trip was right here in Las Vegas, and we had an exclusive concert with Bon Jovi. And the other one was in Hawaii. I ended my sales in 2012 with $125,000, 6 figures, all due to fundraising. The other thing is I was able to connect with a lot of new customers. I have tons of new customers because of that, and even new recruits on my team.
Deanna, that's really exciting. Can you share an example of potential earnings from a fundraiser?
Oh, absolutely. You know, one of the first fundraisers I did was with a group of 20 girls on a dance team, and they were from a local high school. It was so easy. In fact, we decided to use 2 flyers for them. We used the Bug Guard flyer. We also used the Skin So Soft flyer. And with that, the girls sold an average of about 25 bundles each. Now that's 500 bundles. Y'all know what that looks like product-wise, right? I think I had a UPS truck come to my house. And so anyway, when you take the 500 bundles times $15 each, that was a $7,500 fundraiser. In fact, I just about made President's Club with that one fundraiser alone.
That's amazing.
And then I was able to offer 40% to that organization for profit. and they had $3,000 that they raised for their cause, and those girls were able to go to camp. And I earned $750, 10%.
That's fantastic, Deanna. About how many fundraisers do you do each year?
Well, this year I am scheduled for 30 fundraisers, and in fact, I am tracking for $500,000 in sales this year.
That's amazing.
Woo!
I really need to have a conversation with you after this. What a great way to build your sales and sponsoring the community while doing good. Just one more quick question, Deanna. We've all seen Annie at the Product Expo, right? Let's clap it up for Annie the Owl. Do you have any ideas or tips for representatives as to how they can leverage Annie the Owl and do a fundraiser this fourth quarter?
Oh, absolutely. I know that we all can't wait for that plush to come out in the fourth quarter. And so the best thing we can do is raise money for maybe an owl conservation, or how about some local zoos or wildlife organizations? We all can help them raise money for their cause. Not only that, you can think outside of the box, and you can go to fundraisers that are in daycare centers or schools, because I know children love these plush animals. There are so many ideas that you can use.
Deanna, thank you so much for joining us on the
You're
stage
welcome.
this afternoon and sharing your fundraising ideas. It's really been a pleasure. Now that you know how much you can earn and how fun fundraising can be, Deanna and I encourage all of you to incorporate that in your business this fourth quarter and have a fundraiser. And why not start with Annie the Owl? Thank you, everybody.
All right. Well, you know, guys, I wanted to share with you that particular video because that was done at last year's Rep Fest. And this year's Rep Fest is certain to be an unbelievable experience for those who attend. Now, because it was done last year in August, they were talking about Annie the Owl. Well, Annie the Owl is no longer available, but in the fall of this year, 2017, we always introduce a new plush animal of some kind. So be on the lookout for that. But for tonight, we're going to cover the things that are available for you right now by doing an Avon fundraiser. So as the video said, it talked about why fundraiser. And I'm going to hit one other area of fundraising that they really didn't talk about in the video. So why fundraise? Well, maybe you need to do a personal fundraiser. And when I say a personal fundraiser, maybe you yourself would like to do a fundraiser to raise the funds to go to Rep Fest. Maybe there are medical bills in your family that you need to raise funds for, or for a neighbor, or for an individual. So keep in mind, there are lots of different reasons why you can do a fundraiser. You can achieve President's Club. It's a recruiting opportunity for you. It'll certainly increase your customer base. You'll have repeat customer sales. You can help an organization in your local community. And you know what? Fundraisers have the highest percentage of profit for you, the Avon Beauty Boss business person, than any other thing that you do. Now, do I have your attention? Type in the chat box and let me know that you are on board and you're listening and you are just excited to hear about what else I have to share. Now, there are 3 misconceptions about fundraisers. 1, the organization that you're working with has to be a charitable or a nonprofit organization. Ding, 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 wrong. That does not have to be the case. The second misconception, you must be a top seller in Avon to do a fundraiser. Ding, 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 wrong. You do not have to be a top seller. Anyone who has an active Avon account can run a fundraiser. And then finally, you need to have a large group or large sales of $1,575 to do a fundraiser. Wrong. All those things are misconceptions of fundraisers, and I'm here to get it to you straight that everyone and anyone can do an Avon fundraiser. Now, let's talk about how. So here are some examples of what a business fundraiser could do for your business or for you. So let's break it down. You fundraise with a group that has 10 participants. Maybe it's a sport or cheer team, a band, maybe it's a youth group, maybe it's a ladies group. And each one of those participants has a goal of $100 in sales. 10 people, $100 in sales, which totals $1,000 in total sales. With a guaranteed earnings of 50% for you, the Avon representatives, you give 40% to the organization and you keep 10%. All right? Let's break it down again. The same scenario, but let's say it's with a school or a church and there are more participants. Maybe there's 400 people participating in your fundraiser. And your goal is that each person will sell $100 in sales, which totals $40,000. The church or the school would earn 40%, so they'd earn $16,000. And you'd earn 10%, which is $4,000. Sounds like a plan. And the final one, let's make it personal. You fundraise personally to make $600 to cover the cost of your national conference with Avon, RepFest. Let's say it covers your registration, your hotel, your food, your travel, miscellaneous items. And you personally sell $120 in fundraiser products. You keep 50%, which is $600. Bingo! Enjoy your trip. So you have to think about, what would $1,000 in award sales help toward your PRP goals? Would it help you make President's Club? What if you did a fundraiser quarterly? The lady we just heard from, or the representative we just heard from, she has 30 fundraisers already scheduled in the course of 1 year. If you are in leadership, imagine the impact on your unit sales if you taught everyone on your team how to do fundraisers. Your unit sales would skyrocket. And what would you personally do with those extra earnings from $100 to $4,000 or even more? So you're asking, and I know you guys are thinking, what's in it for me? There's a lot in it for you. So let's look at this one. Who wants to do a fundraiser for your national conference, which is August 5th through the 7th in Nashville, Tennessee? Now, I'm going to tell you, I believe that every Avon beauty boss that is serious about their business needs to attend this conference. And it's going to cost a little money. But you know, it's a tax deduction. It's a business write-off. But it could cost you $600-700. But you could do a fundraiser of $1,200 and raise enough funds to pay for it all. You must say to yourself, I deserve this. I deserve this trip, and I'm going to do a fundraiser. And tonight, we're going to show you how. Now, where do you find fundraiser information? You know, I just love Avon because they've made everything simple. Fundraiser information can be found on youravon.com under Earnings Opportunities. So log on to your website, and some of you may have the capability to do that tonight while we're talking, and click on Earnings Opportunities. Once you do that, you'll see to the left-hand side, fundraising. There are 4 different steps to fundraising: finding an organization, choosing program flyers, registering your fundraiser, and managing your fundraisers. And then there's resources and frequently asked questions. So all of the information I'm going to cover tonight can be found right there on youravon.com. So you'll want to reference that, or if you haven't already pulled it up, you'll want to check it out. Now, if you've sold lipstick, you can sell a fundraiser. So who do you approach? You know, I always say, start with yourself, start with you, and or groups, organizations you know personally or peripherally through friends and relatives. Now, who does the selling? Well, if the fundraiser is for you personally, you're going to do the selling. You're going to put on your Girl Scout hat, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Or the members of the group or the organization will do the selling. And that's awesome because you got somebody else doing the work for you. Now, what do you sell? Well, Avon has created these flyers and order forms specifically for fundraisers. It's already done for you. You can find it on youravon.com. These offers are designed, they're very seasonal fundraisers like the Bug Guard. The Bug Guard is available now because we're getting ready to go into the summer months. As I mentioned earlier, the plush animal is usually toward the holiday time. Every quarter, the products that are offered on a fundraiser will change. So you'll want to continuously go in and check earnings opportunities and find out what's new with fundraisers. Now, how to fundraise. Again, 4 simple steps. We're going to break them down tonight. Find an organization, and it just may be you. Choose a program flyer, register your fundraiser, and manage the fundraiser. And we always know the fortune is in the follow-up. Now, answer these questions. You got a pen or paper handy tonight? I'm going to pause on this slide for a minute and let you write. Who do you know? Is there an office building near you with 25 to 50 people? And I want you to write it down if there is. If there's an office building near you with 25 to 50 people, write that down. Write down yes and the name of that office building or the name of that business. Is there a doctor's office near you with 10 or 20 people? Or maybe just write down your own doctor's office, all right? How about that? Is there a kid on a sport team or a cheer team that you know about? You probably know 4 or 5 kids. Write all of those kids' names down that are on sports teams or cheer teams. Now, what about a church youth group? Does your church have a youth group? What about your neighbor's youth group? What about your neighbor's church? Do you know someone who just had a baby or who is pregnant right now? There's going to be a lot of expenses to raise that baby, all right? Do you know someone who's just had a baby? How about maybe someone who just had surgery? Surgery these days are expensive. And if you don't have good medical or insurance coverage, it could be catastrophic to a lot of families. Now, what schools are in your community? Write them down. All schools have a school lounge, but just write down the names of the schools that are real close to you. They could be elementary school, middle school, high school, colleges, technical schools. What about beauty salons? Is there a beauty salon near you, or is there a beauty salon that you go to? Write it down. What about a nail salon? They're on every single corner, all right? Daycare. Daycares are out there. Parents have to have a place to take their kids to stay while they're working. I'm sure there's some in your community. And the last one I have on the list, and believe me, this list is not exhausted. What about a bridal shop? We're in peak bridal time because everyone wants to be a June bride. Where are the bridal shops in your community? Now, hopefully you're writing these things down. You're thinking critically about where you live. And I tell you, the fortune is in the follow-up. Now, I'll also say to you, the most successful reps are the reps who come on these calls, who listen, who take notes intently, and who take action. Because they see an opportunity and they capitalize off of it. And I know each and every one of you will do that tonight. Now, step 1, you're finding an organization. Now, we've already kind of started to do that in the list that you just created for me just a moment ago. Now, there are some brochures or flyers that you can print off on youravon.com where you can post them on bulletin boards, in libraries and schools and YMCAs. You can promote fundraising on your social media sites, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Pinterest. You can use the flyers and booklets as brochure inserts. What a novel idea. When you're delivering campaign 8, stick in there that you can do fundraisers to help organizations raise money. How many of you have ever done that? If you haven't, print out those flyers. Put them in your brochures. If you've got 10 or 20 customers, you've just shared an incredible opportunity for them to help an organization or for you to help them raise money and funds that are critical to their cause. Now, you may want to target groups based upon a specific fundraiser offer. As I mentioned earlier, we're already into bug guard season. So outdoor sports, campgrounds, fishing ponds, all those places are looking for opportunities to earn money. Recreational departments, boating groups, bug guard, an awesome way to raise money for an organization and use that as a tool. All right? Finding an organization. Type in the chat box if you have already had an organization or a personal reason to do a fundraiser. You have something in mind already. Type in the fundraiser, just say, yes, I've already got something in mind. So we'll know that this is something that's going to mean something to your business, all right? Type in that chat box. Awesome. Now, you found that organization or you're still looking for that organization. What are the words you're going to say or the words you're going to use to introduce Avon fundraising to them? So we got 3 different scenarios. The first one is, hello, and I'm going to use one of your names because I know who all's on this call. Say, hello, this is Alicia. And I'm going to move my chat box over a little bit. Hi, this is Alicia, and I'm an Avon representative, and I would like to speak with the person in charge of fundraising for your organization or for your school. With whom should I speak to? And you're going to pause, and they're going to say, well, that would be Sally Jones. Would you like to speak with her? And you're going to say yes. So it's just that simple of introducing yourself and asking for the person in charge. Secondly, you might say, hello, this is Daisy, and I'm an Avon representative, and I'm currently offering organizations in your area the opportunity to raise funds by selling Avon products. I'd like to set up an appointment to show you the Avon fundraising materials. Do you have time next week? Wait for a response. And the third one, which I absolutely love, if you have never done a fundraiser, I'm a proponent of doing a personal fundraiser first. So this one says, hello, this is Diane. I'm an Avon representative, and I'm currently working to raise funds to attend our national conference in Nashville, Tennessee on August the 5th. I have a variety of popular items to select from. Would you support my goal with a purchase? Who would say no to you after you position it that way? And then we have a few other things for you to consider. These are things that you might want to also share with that person to make them feel comfortable about doing an Avon fundraiser. You know, they may not be aware that Avon is one of the world's leaders in beauty companies. It's a top beauty company in the world. They may not be aware that last year alone, over 30 million Americans bought Avon. So it's not like it's going to be selling candy bars and wrapping paper and you name it. Some of these other products that we buy that we have really no need for. There's products here that 30 million people buy constantly, year in, year out. Maybe it's the fact that all Avon products have a money-back guarantee. How about that one? And then Avon has been very successful with fundraisers all over the country. So, step 1, find an organization or promote your personal fundraiser. Now, step 1 continued. Customers are key. So you're going to ask questions. So some of those questions might be with your customers. You know, we get on these calls and we ask, how many customers do you have? You know, and you guys, I'm sure all have customers. We got Alicia, we got Cheryl, we've got Diane and Duncan and Edward and Evelyn and Janice and Christy and Larry and Tammy. You guys all have customers. So say you got 5 customers, you got 10 customers, you got 20 customers. Inside of your customers lies all of the answers that you're looking for. You just have to ask the right questions. You know, tonight I sent out a reminder to many of the representatives in my district to say, hey, we've got a call tonight about fundraising. And I had one representative come back and she said, I can't come because I've got to go to my stepdaughter's school for an event. And I said, fine, I totally understand. Totally understand. That's an important thing for you to do. We'll record the call so that you can see it later. But while you're at the school, why don't you ask about fundraisers? Ask if there's an opportunity for you to help them raise money with an Avon fundraiser. So listen for opportunities. Hear those buzzwords about schools, extracurricular activities, PTAs, church, and other causes. And as you learn about these opportunities, be prepared to share how you can help and be a solution to their problems. You know, if you hear a customer mention that their daughter's in a high school band and they're in need of new uniforms, bingo, that's an opportunity for you to share your love of Avon and how you can help, okay? If you hear someone talking about an upcoming mission trip with their church, and just be sure to let them know that you're with Avon and you'd be happy to support their cause. Now, where do you find opportunities? They are everywhere. They're in your local newspapers. They're on Facebook. They are on Craigslist. You know, take some time, take one of your days or take a couple of hours and just go out there searching for opportunities. Go to your local library. When you go to Panera Bread, look at the post, the bulletin board, or if you're at Starbucks, look at the bulletin board and try to find opportunities where you can share your love of Avon and offer to help, okay? Opportunities are everywhere. Case in point, how many times have you seen this? Oh, it's a car wash, ding, ding, ding. That says to you, an Avon representative, pull right on in. Guess what? Most car washes don't charge a certain amount. It's a donation. Pull right in, give them a donation, get out of your car, talk to the people that's there, ask them what they're trying to raise money for, share your love of Avon, and tell them that you'd like to help by sharing with them an Avon fundraising opportunity. Or this. It's a bake sale. Oh my gosh, who wouldn't like homemade cookies and cupcakes and pies? Stop over, buy something while you're there, learn a little bit more about that organization and their goals, and offer an Avon fundraiser, right? And finally, there's always organizations that are looking for gently used clothes and donations. I'm sure you all have them, whether they come by your house and pick it up or you drop it off to them. Offer the Avon fundraiser, all right? Opportunities are everywhere. Just have your eyes wide open and be prepared to share your love of Avon and be knowledgeable of how an Avon fundraiser works. Now, we're in step 2. You found an organization or you decided, I'm going to do my own personal fundraiser. I'm going to be like the Avon Girl Scout and do my own fundraiser. You want to determine the needs. Now, if it's a personal fundraiser and your need is to raise enough money to go to Rep Fest, bingo, you've already determined your own personal need. You know, if it's an organization, you're going to have a conversation. Maybe it's a sport team and they need to raise money for uniforms. Maybe they're going on a national tournament and they need to raise money to pay for travel costs. Find out what they want to raise the money for and how much money that they need to make. Because you're going to have to do the math. If I personally want to make money to go to my national conference with Avon, I'm going to say, well, I need about $600. So tell me how I can make $600. Well, I'm going to make $600 when I get $1,200 in sales. Simple math, because I'm going to make 50%. Now, your organization may be a little bit different because they're not going to make 50%. They're going to make 30% or 40%, whatever you decide to give them, right? Now, here are some details that you want to think about with a fundraiser. You've got to show them the money. If they need to buy uniforms, how much of those uniforms, and show them how they can raise enough money to pay for them. We recommend a 40-10 split or a 30-20 split. What are some of the associated costs with running a fundraiser? Well, it could be who's going to buy or print the fundraising materials, the flyers. What about collection envelopes? What about delivery bags? Think through that. Think about how you're going to manage it, okay? Who's going to pay for that? They're nominal costs, by the way, but you want to make sure that they're covered. How are you going to handle the tax? If they can't provide you tax-exempt information, they're going to pay the sales tax for your area. If you personally do a fundraiser, clearly you personally are not tax exempt, so you're going to pay the tax in your area. Decide if you're going to charge them the 75 cents processing fee. That's up to you. You can charge it, you cannot charge it. It's totally up to you. If the organization is tax exempt, not only will you need their tax exempt number, but you're going to need a copy of their tax exempt certificate. And we'll get into that later. Then timing and participation are critical. So how many people are going to participate in that fundraiser is going to tell you how many flyers you're going to need. When is the start date and the end date, the duration of the fundraiser? Will they need to do a kickoff with the participants? Is there a coordinator? When are the orders due? When can they expect the products to deliver back to them? And who will help package all of these wonderful products that will be sold as a part of this fundraiser? These are things you want to think through when you're doing a fundraiser for an organization or a group. Now, when we say show them the money, here's a little chart that kind of gives you a feel for how that might work. So you're talking with an organization and, maybe they want to earn $600. So we're looking this first line here. They have 10 people on their ball team. It's a baseball team. There's 10 people on this ball team. And what you want is all 10 of those people to get 10 customers to buy Avon. 10 people on the baseball team, you're going to ask them to find 10 customers. So 10 times 10 is 100. And so that's 100 customers in total. Now, the average sale may be $15. So 100 times 15 is a $1,500 fundraiser. Now, at a $1,500 fundraiser, 40% would say that baseball team would get $600. If you decided to do a 30% fundraiser, that baseball team would get $450. So if you are confused or need some help in figuring out how to tell that organization how much they're going to earn, reach out to your district manager or your upline. All of us are happy to help you do the math so that you can set the right expectation as to how much money they can make with an Avon fundraiser.
Hey, Dee, can I say something really quick on that too?
Sure, Christy.
The one thing I'm sure everyone on the phone will agree with is, when is the last time you've had someone knock on your door and it's only $15, right? I know we have Boy Scouts that come around at the holidays for the wreaths. They're anywhere from $35 to $70 for one that's going to last me, maybe 30 days, 40 days if I'm lucky. Or the tubs of the cookie dough, that's $30, right? So when you look at this, and our average for these bundles are $15, this is something, one, that most everyone can use, but the great thing too is, maybe they're going to get more than one. So that's why, really find something that everyone is going to be able to use instead of something that, oh my gosh, I just spent $35 on wrapping paper. I'm just going to throw it in my closet. Or I spent, $25 on a candle. that's going to be gone in 3 weeks. So, that's another really good thing to think about with our fundraisers compared to other ones that are out there right now.
Absolutely, Christy. And most fundraisers, while we're showing a 40% earnings for an organization or 30% earnings for an organization, most organizations that do fundraisers are extremely happy to get 25%. But just know that's totally up to you. You're an Avon Beauty Boss. You can decide what earnings you're going to provide to that organization. Okay?
And you know what, Dee? We just had someone that say, while we were talking, she just took a picture and sent this out. So I think that's great. If you guys have your cell phones near you, this is a perfect opportunity for any of these slides that you see tonight. Take a picture so that you can post it on your Facebook. You can send it out to where you can look at a glance to see exactly what the opportunity would be for not only the organization, but also for yourself.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. Great ideas. I love it. Love it. Love it. Now, show yourself the money, guys. 50% profit. You can do a fundraiser for your own personal cause or the personal cause of others. Okay? So it doesn't have to be a ball team or a school or a church or a big organization or the Humane Society or the Heart Association. It doesn't have to be a big organization. Matter of fact, if this is your first time doing fundraisers, we'd recommend keep it small so you can see how it works. And then as you continue to do them, get larger and larger and larger. Be that person in your community that people are going to say, call Christy. She can help your organization raise some money. All right. Okay. Now, choose the program flyer. Step 2. On your website, when you go into earnings opportunities and click on fundraisers, there are various flyers there. They change every quarter. So if you go on tonight, you're going to see that there's a bug guard flyer. And when you download the PDF, you will see that it's the flyer and there is a order form attached. Planet Spa, the same way. And I'm gonna show these for you a little bit larger version. Inside of makeup, read here, it says makeup and skincare. There are 2 flyers in this one. When you download it, it shows the makeup and skincare, and it's also going to show the new minis. On personal care, it shows Skin So Soft, and it also shows moisture therapy. You can also go in and order any of this printed material at Town & Country, or you can download the PDF, save it to your computer. You can download the PDF, save it to a flash drive, take it to your local Staples or Office Depot, and print out as many as you want whenever you want. So there are a couple of opportunities where you can get these flyers, okay? You may have a color printer at home. You can print them off at home, okay? If you want to order from Town & Country, you can absolutely do that as well. So there's lots of opportunities for you to choose a flyer that makes sense for the organization or the person that you're working with. Now, let's talk about bug guard. And Christy and I were talking about this a little earlier. With a fundraiser, and say you're targeting some outdoorsy kind of events, whether it's a ball game or camping or fishing or hiking or something that's done outside. Our flyer is 2 for $15. Now, how many of you have bought Girl Scout cookies? Type in the chat box if you bought Girl Scout cookies.
And we won't tell anyone either. This is a safe environment.
Absolutely. Some of you bought Girl Scout cookies, and I'm sure. And I love it when the little Girl Scout knocks on my door and asks me to buy cookies. And I have had several of them do that for me this year. But the other way that they sell Girl Scout cookies is they take their flyer, like we have here, their printed flyer that says, hello, I'm Christy. Here's my email and phone number. And I'm raising funds for a national conference. and my orders are due X. And just fill out your name and your information and check off which item you'd like of this bug guard. And oh, by the way, this one in the center with SPF 30, the water resistant one, 2-in-1 protection, Avon did a lot of work to make sure that we could advertise that those two products protect against the Zika virus. So always point that out. But Christy, you had some other ideas with the bug guard one. Do you want to share?
I did. And, I want to, and actually, I didn't even think about this until earlier, Dee, and it just dawned on me. A quick story is last summer, my husband and I were out in the front, kind of like doing things in the yard, and we saw a young man and his mother walking down the street going door to door. And he approached us, and I think he had candy and he had a couple candles, and I can't remember exactly what it was for, but he was in a group that had won this trip. I think they were going to, like, I don't know, Disneyland or something. And there were about 5 boys that the family couldn't afford it. So what they did is they were going door to door, and he explained his whole, his whole trip to us. He had pictures. And I mean, my gosh, and again, this wasn't $15. I mean, it was like $25. Like, we were running in the house saying, where's the cash, because we couldn't write a check or anything. But, he went door to door, and it wasn't a huge amount he needed. I mean, I want to say it was something like he was trying to raise, $300 or something like that. So, remember, I mean, you can always take these and go door to door, or like Dee had talked about earlier, guys, getting the flyer, right? Make copies and give it to your current customers, right? So if I'm one of your customers and I'm already buying from you, hello, I know how awesome Bug Guard is. So if you tell me, oh my gosh, you know what, Dee? I wanted to make sure that I offered you this amazing deal. You're one of my best customers. You actually have a chance through this special offer through me to get any Bug Guard, any 2 for $15. And actually, this special bundle is going to help me be able to go on to our national conference. So how many can I add for you, right? So 1, look at your current customers too, right? I think sometimes when we think the word fundraiser, we think it has to be this huge organization, right? Where, oh my gosh, is it going to be over our head? And sometimes we might do that, right? But other times it might be, hey, I'm just trying to sell a bundle, right? And the bundle could be going to your current customers. It could be reaching out to family members, friends, neighbors, right? You have this amazing deal just for them, right? Other things with this is campgrounds. And then I thought about this too. We have a private pool that we go to, right? And for that matter, I even think public pools, right? They always need money for repairs and for upkeeps. So how awesome would that be if the pool, paired with you and they were able to maybe have this on display, right? And does anyone know maybe where you might have seen a great deal for Bug Guard here recently? Maybe in the What's New that Dee and I always talk about, right? Because how awesome would it be if you had some of this on hand, right? You had cash and carry. You were able to give samples out. You were able to display them with your flyer. So, just so much opportunity with a fundraiser to where it doesn't have to be huge. You can just kind of in your mind think, I'm just selling bundles, right? I'm selling bundles for either my cousin that just came home with twins, right, that I'm trying to raise money for, or I'm selling for myself to try to go to my first national conference, or, my uncle just had knee surgery. His insurance would only pay 50%. They're on a fixed income. So I'm going to help him out, and my goal is to sell $1,500 in bug guard. So whatever it is, just remember there's always something in fundraisers that can help you, that you can offer these exclusive bundles to people to not only, help yourself, but also help others or organizations around you.
Awesome. So Christy, we're going to look at some of the other ones. You've got an option. And now let me go back before I leave the Skin So Soft Bug Guard. It's any 2 for $15. So that means that they could get the anti-itch, and then they can get expedition, or they can get the 2-in-1 protection, and then maybe they get dawn to dusk protection. So in this instance, it's any 2 for $15. All right, so they can mix and match, right? Now, when we go to the Skin So Soft, it's a 3-piece pack for $25. These packs are already set up. So they'd have to either get the original pack, the Radiant Moisture pack, or the Soft and Sensual pack. So you've got the beautiful brochure that shows a 3-piece pack for $25. You've got the order form on the side where they can put out their contact information, check off how many that they want, total up their order, write a check to you. At the bottom, you can say when the orders are due, what the funds are going toward. I mean, to me, this is brilliant. Print this off, copy it, stick them in your brochures if you're doing a personal fundraiser, all right? Limited time offer. Skin So Soft. You also have Moisture Therapy, 3-piece pack, $12. $12. Awesome. You get 3 pieces, whether it's the Intense Healing, the Daily Skin Defense, or the Calming Relief. There's no mix and match. You got to pick one or the other. Same format. All right.
Hey, Dee, also on these, when you're looking at these guys, like I know we have one neighbor across the street that my son, when he sells anything for school, they don't ever want the product, but they will always donate money. So let people know too that, oh gosh, you know what? I don't really know, Edward, if I really don't like the Moisture Therapy, or I don't use it. Well, you know what? The great thing is for those people that still donate the $12, when I get the items in, I'm going to take them to the local women's shelter. So, let them know that too, because maybe they might not like the product, but let them know by donating still the $12, any item that you get on hand, that people don't want, that product you're going to donate to a local shelter or to a local church, because again, people love that, and that's a feel-good gift. And for $12 to know that you made a difference, and you were able to take 3 products to a shelter, is amazing. So always remember that too, because again, think of the Girl Scouts and people knocking on your door that have the cookie dough. I have never heard them say, well, you know what, if you don't want the cookie dough, you can pay the $25 and we'll take it to the food pantry. Now, if they said that to me, that would be a huge eye opener, right? So any of our Avon products are good for that. So again, let them know that. They might not want the product, but let them know by donating to the cause, someone is going to be able to use that product and benefit from it.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Because so often, I think we've got an advantage. A lot of our products are functional products. They're not like, I know one time I bought it was a bird feeder or something. And not that I'm against birds, but I'm just saying, sometimes you're kind of like, okay, I don't really need this, but I'll give to the cause. So perfect thing to bring up and share, Christy. Hey, you've got Planet Spa. People love, love, love Planet Spa. 2 for $16. This one you can mix and match. And that's why I said earlier, hey, think about bridal salons, think about weddings, think about, places that might use some of these items. 2 for $16. One thing you could do is, say you go to a bridal shop and you take the flyer and you say, well, we're offering, you're offering the Planet Spa, and it's a fundraiser for some group, whatever the group is. And, you know, for everyone that is purchased, you know, a certain percentage or a certain amount is going to be donated to the women's shelter. Or, oh my gosh, there's just so many ways you could use the Planet Spa collection.
You know, you could also use it, Dee, if you know someone that's getting married, right? You know, weddings right now, I mean, go into, you know, can be 30,000 plus for some of these weddings. So how awesome would this be for all the girlfriends of the bride to say, oh my gosh, you know, we're going to do this for Diane. You know, we're trying to raise $1,000 to, you know, pay for some of the reception. You know, get the bridal party, you know, get the bridesmaids, get her friends and family to do this. And who knows, maybe, you know, all the bridesmaids use this, you know, the night before, or have fun, or have a girls' night. But, you know, they would be like, oh my gosh, absolutely, $16. It's something that I can, you know, use. Plus, I'm going to help, you know, raise funds for, you know, Diane's wedding. Count me in.
Awesome. Awesome. Great example. Oh my gosh. I love this one. It's makeup. Hey, we're Avon. So here you can mix and match. It's 3 for $18. So I could get a mascara, a tube of lipstick, and some blush for $18. Okay. That's a perfect face. That's all you really need to do, and you walk right out the door. You can use it anywhere. Anywhere. You could use it with cheerleaders, a dance team. You know, maybe it's just a group of moms. Maybe it's stay-at-home moms or Mother's Day, Mom's Day Out group. Use this. Give them all a flyer. Let them select the mascara, the lipstick, and the blush that they want. Or maybe they decide, I just want 3 lipsticks. Or I just want 3 mascaras. Or I just want 3 blushes. They can select. Give it to them. Let them select what they want. And take orders. I mean, this is awesome. And it's our new Nourishing lipstick, which is just an awesome lipstick. It's our Nourishing mascara, which doesn't make your lashes feel brittle or hard because it has argan oil and all these nutrients, vitamin E, coconut oil in it, and your lashes are conditioned just like your hair. That's a novel idea, huh? And then, of course, you got the cheek color. This one I absolutely love. I would carry this in my purse every single day, and I would offer everybody I saw an opportunity to buy this. What about maybe moisturizers? Now, you know, this one I think is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because your customers could select 2 for $12. All right? 2 for $12. Vital, Reversalist, Ultimate, Platinum. You know, if you want to break it down, 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old. But the nice thing is these are mini moisturizers. They're great for traveling. They'll pass through the TSA. But if you have someone that doesn't have a beauty regimen and they're really not knowing what to use, and you've looked at their skin and you said, you know, I really think you could use a really good moisturizer, this is an awesome way for them to try it. It's a mini. Once they try it, it's going to create repeat sales for you. So you may decide, this campaign, I'm on a mission to sell a whole bunch of mini moisturizers, because I know when I get those out there, they're going to love it and they're going to come back. And when they need to replenish, then you got a $30 sale, right? Right? All right, how's the chat box? Is the chat box moving? These are mini moisturizers, 2 for $12. It even talks about it being travel friendly. It's a 2-week supply, all right? Now, you choose your flyer, and on this slide, you know, it's like an eye chart, but you can see all of the different items that are available through fundraising. We've gotten the price there. Your customer is going to pay the price. You are the representative, you will pay the cost, and your profit is in the rep profit line. So this is kind of a quick worksheet that you can use that says, okay, I'm going to sell, 10 of the Skin So Softs, and I'm going to collect $25 for all 10 of those. And for $10 and $25 each, I'm going to collect $250, but I'm only going to pay Avon $12 for each one of them. So I'm only going to pay Avon $120. So my profit is $120. All right. So if it's for an organization, you can decide, okay, how much of that 120 I'm going to give an organization, or if it's for yourself, you've made 50% profit. It's just that simple. Now, here's something we want to make sure you take note of. We want you to register your fundraiser, and there's 2 options to register your fundraiser. You can call the fundraiser desk and write this number down, 1-888-564-2866. Write that number down, call the fundraiser desk. They're available to you to answer any questions you have. They are awesome. Or you can complete the form on youravon.com. Either one are options for you. So register your fundraiser. So what kinds of things are they going to want? They're going to, let's see, I need to get to that. It's on this other next slide. So when you have a fundraiser for an organization, you're wanting to sign a fundraising agreement. You want to have that signed because that's going to have all the details about the person, the organization, what they want to raise the money for. So you want them to sign that so that they know that, hey, here's the start date, the end date, the timeline's there. It's just an agreement. Make a copy from them, keep a copy for yourself, and then it's going to allow you to order or make copies of the appropriate number of flyers. All right. When you register your fundraiser, here's what the screen looks like. You're going to select the type of flyer that you're going to use. It only lets you select one, but you can use as many as you like. You're going to tell Avon about when you think you're going to place the order, what campaign. You're also going to say the number of participants. If it's under 25, if it's just you doing a personal fundraiser, it's going to be under 25. Your name and all of your account information is going to pop up. You're going to set a date for that fundraiser. You're going to put the organization's name. If it is the Wildcats baseball team, that's what you're going to put. If it's Christie's dance team, that's what you're going to put. If it's to go to a national conference fund, put national conference fund. If it is a tax exempt organization, you put the tax exempt number if you have it. You're going to put that in there. If it is a tax exempt organization and you haven't gotten that tax exempt number yet, don't worry. Still register the fundraiser because you can add the tax exempt number later and get the tax removed. What's the address, city, state, postal zip code, put a contact name in there. You may end up functioning as the contact name and phone number and an email address. Complete that form. Now, when you process your fundraiser, you're always going to process your fundraiser as a separate order. It's not going to be part of your regular order. You want to keep your fundraiser separate. On your order page, you're going to add this product number, 045642. That will be the first product order number that you will input to your order, and this will ensure that your order is identified as a fundraiser, okay? All right. Now, a couple of other things before we look at that a little bit more is always make sure that your participant materials are distributed, that everyone's clear about their duties and has contact information in case they need help, and that everyone is clear on some important dates. When the orders are due to you, when the products will be delivered back to them, when the participants can pick up their orders if you've got a team that you're doing it with, and when the payment is due. Collect up front makes it much, much easier. gather your orders, your money, and prepare to submit your orders. And as I mentioned earlier, you're going to submit your orders as shipped separately. You know, after the fundraising deadline, you're going to meet with the coordinator or whoever you're working with. You're going to refer to the list of participants, make sure that everyone has turned in the group orders. Call any of those orders that may be missing, or, you know, maybe you need further clarification, and confirm the full amount that's going to be collected, or confirm that all the money has been collected. And then you're going to submit your order on youravon.com, again, as a separate order. Now, you're going to log on to youravon.com, and this is kind of what your screen might look like. And when you start, of course, you're going to say My Orders, and you're going to select your name. And then when you get, you're going to select a campaign that you're submitting this fundraisers orders in. And all you're going to do is in that very first box for product number, put that 045642. That's your fundraiser code. After that, you're going to start to list all of the different fundraising items in the lines and list the quantity. It's just that simple. And then add those to your order. Once your orders come back, you're going to deliver those orders. You're going to package them in bags, add thank you notes, maybe a current brochure, maybe even some samples. And then decide, you know, how you're going to handle late orders. If somebody says, I didn't get to place one of these, can I still order? You know, decide how you're going to handle that. Offering 10 to 25% of the reorders will help them remember your support throughout the year, the people that come and order from you again and again. And when the orders are filled, list any shorts or discrepancies. Now, as long as you're using the Avon fundraiser, those flyers, there really shouldn't be any shorts or discrepancies, because when you use the Avon fundraiser flyer, we're kind of guaranteeing that those products will be available. And so you won't have an issue where you can say, oops, we've sold out. Those are products that you've that are selected, and the flyer that you select will be available. Okay. Now, step 4 is in the follow-up. Keep in touch with that organization, see how things are going, see how frequently you can do a fundraiser. Obviously, everyone that participated in the fundraiser is a new customer to you. So you're going to want to give them samples, follow up with them periodically, make sure they have a link to your e-store. And then some of those people may be potential recruits. They may decide, well, I'd like to have an Avon business of my own. How would I go about having my own Avon business? And of course, always, always, always say thank you for the order, and that you hope that they enjoyed the Avon products. And just ask them if they know of a group or an organization that might need to raise funds and is interested in Avon fundraising. Just give you a call. All right? Now, all the tools you need for a successful fundraiser are available on youravon.com. Every last one of them. Everything we've talked about is on your website. Sample letters, phone scripts, you know, marketing, contact sheets, how to fill the orders, tax exempt information, thank you cards, and much, much more. It's all on youravon.com. Now, you may want to think about preparing fundraising mini kits. And you're like, what is a fundraising mini kit? Well, that might be something almost like a brochure, something that you're going to already have ready to go. Maybe you've got 10 of them, you've got them in your car, and it includes maybe a fundraiser flyer, a letter that describes the fundraiser, and maybe one of the flyers. And as you're going about your daily activities, you bump into somebody in the grocery store, and they start talking about, that you hear one of those keywords, school, club, fundraiser, uniforms, dance teams. You hear that word that triggers in your head, ding, 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 fundraiser. And you know that out in your car, you have a mini kit that you could give to them so they could take it home, read through it, and give you a call and let you know if they want to do a fundraiser. Now, it's 8:07. We've been on for about a little over an hour. So we're going to give you time to ask questions. So I'm going to take everyone off of mute, and I'm going to unmute all the phone lines, and we're going to answer questions that you might have because we've thrown a lot at you in the last hour, and I'm sure you're needing some clarification on some of the points that we've shared. So the line is now open. Who's going to ask the first question?
I have a question.
Awesome. Go for it.
It is about the flyers for the bed guard, the Skin So Soft, all the products. Do we get those online as well, or do we order them from Avon when we know we're going to be doing a fundraiser?
You can do either.
The sales flyers.
Yes, you can do either. When you go onto youravon.com and you look under earnings opportunities, all of these flyers, if you're looking at the screen, they're all there. And you can download a PDF of those flyers from your website and print them out. If you don't have the ability...
I couldn't find them. I tried tonight, and I'm not finding them yet.
Okay, so when you go on to youravon.com and you go under earnings opportunities, okay, once you go on there,
I'll go back there. Hold on.
you go onto earnings opportunities, and once you do that, you will be able to click on where it says choose your program flyers in step 2.
Oh, that's it? Okay. All right.
When you go in there, you'll be able to see how you can download them and print them out yourself. Great question.
And, I would, advise everyone to just go on and print them out now so you have them. It's so much easier when you're talking to someone to show it to them versus saying, oh gosh, well, let me go on, let me try to find them, let me download them. Because like we talked about before, a lot of your customers might not know that this is something that we can do. So why not download them, have them, either go to Kinko's or somewhere, make cheap copies, and why not give them out to your customers and let them know that this is a service that you can do. Walk into your local school, talk to the secretary and say, hey, you know what? I have this great deal, this bundle deal. Could you maybe go ahead and put these up in the teacher's lounge? And maybe you have a little flyer that you put with it, that maybe, again, lays out the products, but maybe why you're sharing this opportunity with them. And, maybe you take it in on a Friday, and on the flyer you say, and I'll be back on Friday, to, pick up, any orders that you have. So, our recommendation is that everyone has the flyers already on hand for them, and you carry them with you when you're out doing your Avon, because you just never know, when you're going to have it, and it's nice to be able to grab it out. Like Dee said, you could be, or you can be like me. You could be outside in the yard, and someone walks up, hey, would you like to buy this? And you can let them know, oh my gosh, it looks like you're trying to raise money. I'd love to share with you the opportunities that I have, and how I can help you and my organization can help you raise money.
Christy, to your point, I know we all have appointments throughout the day that we're going to. And let's just say you've got a doctor's appointment. You've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Anytime you go to the doctor's appointment, you have to sign in at the registration desk, right? So while you're at the registration desk doing a little chit chat and getting signed in, what if you had a fundraiser flyer with you that was completed that said you had your name and had an organization that you were working for or a cause that you were helping to raise money for? And while there, you asked the front receptionist, can I leave this fundraiser flyer here and pick it up on Friday? These are items that are available for sale, and every purchase will go toward helping this organization. Would you accept this and I pick it up at the end of the week? They may say no. They will most likely say yes, and they will circulate it among the workers in the office. And bingo, you've just gotten orders from people who work in that office simply by sharing a fundraiser. I really think you're going to have a higher success rate with sharing the fundraiser flyer than really just kind of leaving the brochure.
Right. Right. And what we wanted to let you know too is, think about fundraisers as something fun, something very simple, and don't think of it as something to do once a year, right? You heard the lady in the beginning. She has 34 planned this year. How many weeks are there in a year, right? So, what if you did something, every quarter? Or, my gosh, you could even do it every campaign, right? So just think of where you're at right now with your sales. And by having a fundraiser, once a month, once a quarter, where can that put you? Also, think about maybe what organization you can help out, right? And, let's say maybe you don't have an organization that came to you, but could you do a fundraiser and say, gosh, you know what? I saw on the news and that local animal shelter is really in need of paper towels, blankets, toys for the dogs, etc. You know what? I'm going to do a fundraiser, and then I'm just personally going to go down once I have all the money and my fundraiser is over, and I'm personally going to hand them 30% of the fundraiser that I did, as a donation from me, right? So again, it can be something that you want to do, right? Just like we talked about with, if someone doesn't want the product, great. If you still want to donate that $12, what I'm going to do is every product that I have, I'm going to go down and actually take it to the local women's shelter. And especially too, think about reaching out to even the local newspapers, the TV shows. I'm telling you what, I can get really depressed just by watching a 30-minute news story, right? So they want feel-good stories. So reach out. Let them know. Call down there and say, hey, I'm a local representative here in Lafayette, Indiana, and I wanted to let you know that I personally did a fundraiser and I raised $100 for the Humane Society here in Lafayette, and I'm going to be going down and taking a check to them today. Whatever it is. There's just so much that you guys can do to build upon this.
Awesome, Christy. I agree. So we're going to close the call with a call to action. And it's just wow. Wow is what will you do within 1 week? And we're suggesting that you register a fundraiser within 1 week of tonight's call. We'd like to see you register a fundraiser on youravon.com. And once you do that, your district manager will call you to discuss your plans and give you a free prize and really help you make that fundraiser a success. So, it wouldn't be a worthwhile time for you this evening if there was not a call to action, something that you were going to do after that was going to make a difference in your business. So you've got 1 week. Register your fundraiser on youravon.com. If you have any questions on how to get that done, give us a call. We are recording this call. Once it is completely recorded and readily available, we will send that back out to the respective districts. And if you want to listen again or review any of the contents of this meeting, you can do that at your leisure. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hopefully it was beneficial to you. If you do watch the video or the recording and you like it, please click on the like button or the thumbs up so that we'll know that what we're trying to do is helping you and is beneficial so that we can continue to bring recordings to you in the future.
Hey, and Diane just had a question, and I think it's really great. She goes, does Avon let the district managers know when we have registered? And the answer is yes, but I will also let you know sometimes those emails get lost. So what I would recommend is if you go on and register a fundraiser, also drop your district manager an email or a text and let us know that you have registered it, just so we know that we get it for sure.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. All right.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you learned some great information.
Thank you, ladies.
All right. Thank you. You guys have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks, Dee. Bye.
Mhm.